Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Um, Today I'm going to make a video in the living room because I'm going to talk to you about the houses in Sweden. I've had requests from my subscribers, from some of them, to tell you more about Sweden. Now, I'm not Swedish, I'm Danish, but I live in Sweden. And I do know a little bit about the history and culture and traditions in Sweden. And there are people asking, why are the houses red or yellow in Sweden? And that's what I'm going to address today. First, I'm just going to turn you around and show you uh, what the weather's like outside here because it's quite beautiful. Hold on. First, of course, there's a fire in the fireplace. There also is in the other stove in the kitchen. There is a dog, and she thinks that we're going out. We're not, because we just were outside. We just came in from our long morning walk. But have a look at that. Is that a winter wonderland or what? And that's a window frame, of course. But look at that. It's so nice. It's been snowing for 2 days. Not very heavily. And it's not gonna snow that much more. And it's not gonna get as cold as they forecast a couple of days ago. But we are at right now it's -4 degrees Celsius. That is, let me see if I remember, 24 Fahrenheit. Uh, in the morning when I go down from, I sleep up there in the attic and I come down to the living quarters here, I have 8 degrees Celsius. I believe that's around 46 degrees. So it's not very warm, but it's not freezing cold. So I come down here and Zaffo sleeping down here and she wakes up when I come down. I turn on my gas stove and put it next to the sink so I can have a little bit of warmth. I turn on the water heater and it takes only a few minutes and it's warm and I can wash with a rag. I just wash, a cowboy wash as we call it, a trucker wash, and then I get dressed and then we go out. I don't light a fire at that point. So we go out, Saf and I, on our big morning walk, and that is between 1 and 2 hours. Mostly it's about 1.5 hours. And then we come home, and then I start a fire, uh, or actually two fires, and try to get the house warmed up. And then normally I make a pot of tea or chai, and then I have some breakfast. And Sappho, of course, gets her breakfast. Um, and then we just sit and relax, and that's where we're at now. And she has been relaxing uh, while I've been making fires and breakfast and stuff. So she's absolutely ready to go out now and play again. I'm not. I'm going to sit here for a little while. So I'm going to tell you about. You've seen, you've seen my house from the outside, and it's red. That color is all over Sweden. Of course, it's wood houses because there's a lot of wood, timber, and lumber here. In Denmark, most of the houses are made with brick and mortar because there's not a lot of forest in Denmark, but there's a lot of clay. So, historically and traditionally, we have produced a lot of tile and brick, and that's what we've used for building materials. In Sweden, they use wood, timber, and in around 1600, 1700, they discovered up north in a little town called Falu, or Falun, it's called, that there was copper in the ground. So they started mining for copper. And one of the spilled products or leftovers from copper mining is iron oxide, which can be a range of yellow to red to brown, actually to black. And that copper oxide was used for pigmentation, for coloring. Um, and why red? Because actually, traditionally, the houses were yellow. But people started traveling. And in Denmark, we mostly made red bricks, and the brick houses were built with red bricks. And people from Sweden and Norway saw this and thought that that was a sign of riches. So the coloring is a fashion statement. They wanted to imitate the red brick houses. So they started painting red to look a little bit more posh and rich. It has absolutely no meaning whatsoever if it's yellow or red. It is iron oxide from the copper mining, and it's mixed up when you use it for the wooden houses. It's mixed up with water and flour, normally rye flour, because that was the cheapest. You wouldn't use wheat flour. You wouldn't do that because that was quite expensive and hard to get to. And then linseed oil, which makes the iron oxide, the coloring, penetrate into the wood. So it's very cheap, very easy, very natural, environmental friendly sort of paint. And you brush it on in thin layers like you would with linseed oil. And you can give it more coatings. And you have a special brush. It's not like a painter's brush like that. It's kind of a round one, and you kind of beat it into the wood so that it catches on. And you still use it today. And why I corrected myself to say that the town was called Falun, it is, but you call it Falu red, and you do because you use it as an adjective. I had to study that to know it. So the city is called Falun, but when you say the municipality, then you don't say Falun municipality, you say Falu municipality, and you say Falu red. You can use iron oxide from anywhere else, but you're not allowed to call it Falu red unless the iron oxide stems from the copper mines up in Falu, in the region called Dalarna, up in northern Sweden. So that's the history behind it. And it's still used, widely used, because it's very practical. And other than it, it's also traditional. So that's the reason for that. And and my house really needs a new coating of it, but I'm a little bit wishy-washy if I should do it or wait until I have the opportunity to change all the cladding, because it would be stupid to paint it and then have to change it. It needs a new cladding. But the sign that you need to redo the coloring is that when you touch the boards, if it comes off on your fingers, if the red color comes on your fingers, then it needs a new coat, because that means there's no linseed oil left, there's no protection left on the boards, and the Falu red becomes powder again. So when you have a freshly painted house, the year or two after that, if you touch the boards, you will not get red coloring on your fingers because it sticks to the wood. So the moment you start getting the red dust to come off, that's time to repaint your Swedish wooden house, your log cabin. I hope that was informative, entertaining, and I hope you weren't too disturbed by the sounds nearby here, because there is a dog very, very impatient. to get out in the snow again and play. Are we going out? Are we going for a walk? Should we go walkie and play snow? Yeah, let's go walkie play snow. Yes, you're not having your toy outdoors. You know that. That's an indoor toy. You'll have your stick outside. Yes. So I guess, yeah, let's go out. Let's get ready. Yeah, I know. And can you say bye to the people? Because we're leaving now. Bye bye, people. We have to go play in the snow. See you on the next one. Bye bye, everyone.